Okay? So 25 over 100 is the part. So if it's 25 out of 100, what percent do you think that is?
1%.
25.
It's 25 out of 100, which is
1%. Wait.
25%. Okay? 25 out of 100 means 25%.
I was thinking of division.
Okay? So if this one is 85%, what do you think the fraction is?
0.25.
85 out of 100. Good. She forgot it. Okay? So this one is 40 out of 100. So what do y'all think the percent is?
40%.
40%. Good. Okay? Now we just talked about how to go from percent to decimal. We said you move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay? So 25% is going to be what decimal?
0.1.
So we're just moving our decimal here. 1, 2, so it's
0.25.
0.25. Good. Okay? On the next one, 85% is 0.85.
0.4.
And then 40% is 0.40. Okay? So you're just moving your decimal 2 places. Okay? Now, we want to go back up to these fractions because they're not technically correct because we know that we can simplify them. Okay? So what's a number that can go into 25 and 100?
20.
Okay? So does everybody think 25 can go into both? Adam said 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 100 divided by 25 is 4. So 25 is 1/4. Yeah. Okay. Okay, on the next one, what's a number that can go into 85 and 100?
5.
5. And I forgot to tell y'all, we're going to just allow y'all to use calculators for the rest of the year. Because I know that people at home are probably using them and I can't control that, so it's not really fair for me to tell my kiddos here that they can't. You still have to have your work shown, but as far as doing the math, you are able to use a calculator. So if you're here and you have your phone, you can use it. I also have some calculators if you want to borrow one. Okay. So what is 85 divided by 5? 17. Good, Adam. And 100 divided by 5? 20. My people at home, feel free to unmute and just join in with us. I see a couple of y'all talking in the chat, but you can also unmute. Okay. Now the next one, they both end in zeros. So what does that mean I can divide by?
20.
Okay, I could divide by 20, but if they end in zeros, what do I know I can divide by first?
10.
10. Good. Watch how easy this is. I literally just mark off the zeros. So now it's 4 out of 10. Now, Sarah knew a bigger number, which is great because you want to use the bigger number. But for those of you who don't always see the big number, I wanted to show you how easy it is to mark those zeros off. Okay? So now I can divide by 2, and I get 2/5. Okay? All right, again, that should be a pretty easy review from 6th grade, even 5th grade, fractions and decimals anyway. Okay? We're going to talk about using percent bars and percent proportions because they help us kind of estimate and they help us to really make sense of what we're doing and to know where my numbers go. Okay? So I'm going to show you percent bars today. I'm going to make you practice them today. After today, if you hate them, then you don't have to use them again. But really, the more you practice, they're super helpful. Okay? So we're going to start off reviewing fraction bars, and we're going to show you how a fraction bar can transition into a percent bar. Okay? So when you have a percent bar, this entire bar, if this whole thing was shaded, what percent would that be?
20.
The whole thing. So not 1/5, the whole thing. If it was the whole thing was shaded, what percent would that be?
100.
100. So every single time we do a percent bar, you're going to put 100 at the very end. And I like to write labels, so I'm going to put percent. Okay? If I got every question on the test, I made 100. If I ate all 8 slices of the pizza, I ate 100%. Okay? So 100 is always the whole thing. So it's the total. Okay?
Are you shading anything in?
Nope, not yet. Okay? So every single time you see a percent bar, you're going to put percent and 100. The only number that should go down here is a percent, okay? And it tells me 1/5. So I don't know the percent, so I'm not going to put anything down there, okay? 1 is the part, and 5 is the whole, okay? Again, this is just basic fraction review from elementary. So the whole thing is 5. We said the whole thing is 100%, but if this was a test, maybe there were 5 questions or a quiz, okay? So I put the 5 here because it's the whole thing. So 5 is the same thing as 100%, okay? And I'm just looking for 1/5, which y'all already have it memorized because y'all told me the answer, but I want to show you how to do it on a percent bar, okay? So I put a 1 there because I'm looking for 1/5. I don't know what percent is, so that's where my X goes, okay? And I'm looking for this 1/5, okay? Now that I have my percent bar, I'm easily able to see that it's going to be less than half. So I know it's going to be less than 50%. So let me show you how to set your proportion up. You just take everything you wrote, and then you put it down on the bottom, okay? So 1, X, 5, 100, okay? Now we're back to just regular proportions that we worked on last time and the time before that, okay? Look for a shortcut, cross multiply. It does not really matter, but pick a way. So do y'all see a shortcut? This one has 2 shortcuts. Do y'all want to go side to side, or do you want to go up and down?
I don't care.
What's easier, to go from 1 to 5 or 5 to 100? Okay, you want to do 5 to 100? Okay. How do you get from 5 to 100?
You multiply it by 20.
Multiply by 20. Good, Adam. Okay. Now remember, on the other side, you always have to point to X. So this is looking like this. Are these arrows going the same direction?
No.
They're not both pointing down?
They are just.
Oh, yes, they are.
Just an Adam? Okay. Adam, run to the nurse real quick. I think it's for hearing and vision. I wish they wouldn't do that during math. Okay. All right, so my arrows are going the same direction, so that means I have to do the same operation. So times 20. Okay. 1 times 20 is 20. Now, because it's on the bottom, it's actually going to be 20%. So, Arsene, do you have your notes?
What?
Do you have your notes?
I have a.
You don't have your blue notebook?
Oh, yes.
All right, so it's just like we did last time. Just they don't give you the extra number, but when you see that percent sign, that's your clue to think 100. Okay. Let's do another one. Over here, it's 3/4. I know that the whole bar is worth what percent?
100.
100. Thank you. So 100 is the whole thing. The 4 is the total, so that's the end. And this time I want 3/4. Okay. And again, I don't know the percent, so X goes on the bottom. All right, so now I just take it straight down to write it down. Okay. Do you see a shortcut, something that would work?
4 times 25.
Very good, thank you. So on the other side, am I going the same direction? Yeah, they're both
Yes.
good. They're both pointing down, so I do the same operation, which is times 25. So X is 75%. So once you get it set up, it's exactly the same as what we've been doing. The hardest part is just making sure you set it up right, okay? Go ahead and turn to the next page. Arsene, I'll give you my book when we finish the notes so you can catch up, okay? All right, on the next page. Percent bars are really helpful to help us estimate percentages. Okay, estimate, which we kind of talked about estimating. We talked about was 54 about 1/2, was 1/3 close to 45. Okay, so we're going to work on estimating. Okay, 2 words that you are going to see a lot today and tomorrow, and you're going to see it on the test because I just got through finished writing the test. You're going to see the word of, and when you see the word of, that means total. Okay, if I say half of 7, 7 is the total. If I say half of 95, 95 is the total. If I say 5 is half of X, then X would be your total. But when you see the word of, that's going to be your total. And then the word is your part. Okay? Is your part. Is also equal. Yeah. Okay? We talked about when we were writing equations that is means equal. So you're going to see the word is and of a lot. Okay? What is 50% of 50? Okay? So first thing we always want to do is put what number on our percent bars? 100. Everybody at home, did y'all hear me? What's the first thing we want to put on percent bars?
100.
100. And I always put mine on the bottom just so I don't ever get confused. If you want to put them on top, that's fine. Just make sure you label it. Okay? So the question says, what is 50% of 50? So I see the word of, which means what? Total. What does of mean, everybody?
Total.
Total. Good. Thank you. Okay? So the total goes with 100. So the 50 goes right here. Because that's the total. Now the next part says 50%. So because it has a percent sign, it's going to go on the top or on the bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom, because my percents go on the bottom. Good. Thank y'all for participating. Okay. Now this one is super easy. I don't even really need to do a proportion because when you see it on a percent bar, what do you notice about 50%? Good. 50% is half. How do you find half of something? Good. Okay. If you can remember that 50% is half, and I just divide by 2 for half, that's really all you have to do. Okay, you don't need to set up your proportion because on the picture, I can see that everything is perfect. Okay, again, this is why I like percent bars because it helps if you're a visual person. Okay, what's half of 50, everybody?
25.
Very good.
25.
Good. X is 25. Okay, now if you wanted to do your percent bar, you could say, oh, this is times 2. So this side is divide by 2. Okay, the percent bar always works. This is just to kind of help you estimate and maybe sometimes even get the answer without having to do the proportion. Okay, the next one. Every single time, what goes on my percent bar?
100.
100. Everybody, what goes on there?
100.
100. Thank you for typing in the chat at least so I know that you're awake. Okay, if you're not going to unmute, that's fine, but put it in the chat so I know that you're paying attention. So everybody, what goes on every percent bar?
100.
100.
100.
100. Thank you. Every single time, I'm going to put the percent symbol in 100. Every single time. Okay? Now this one says what is 25% of 50. So again, they gave me the total. Total goes over what?
Over 100.
Yeah, your total always goes over 100. Always. Okay? The total is 50. And it says what is 25%. So does that go on the top or the bottom?
Bottom.
The bottom, good. Because it has a percent symbol. Oh, how do I know which bar to put it in?
How do you know where to go? Bottom?
Okay, because it has a percent sign, and all my percents are going to be on the bottom. Just like with words, if it was boys to girls, you would go back and look at your label.
Okay.
So your percents go on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, now half of the bar is 50%. That's how I knew the 25 goes here because I knew that this was half. Okay, and I'm looking for that, so that's my X. Okay. So now I can take my numbers and come over here and write my proportion. you can also do some mental math, and I'm going to show you what that looks like, okay? Half of 50 was 25. We already talked about that, right? And then because 25 is half of 50, you could just take half of 25, okay? If that's confusing to you, guess what? Proportion is going to work just the same. I see a nice shortcut here of times 2. If you went this way in times 4, that is okay too. You're not wrong, okay? On the other side, I pointed up. So instead of multiplying by 2, what should I do this time? Divide by 2. Good. And you're going to get a decimal, and guess what? That's okay. You're using calculators. It's okay to get a decimal. Okay. And then always just go back and see if it makes sense. 12 is smaller than 25. 50 is smaller than 100. Okay? So just go back and make sure that your answer makes sense. If you really want to make sure that your answer is correct, you could always cross multiply and you should get the same answer. Okay? All right. 10%. Every single time, what's going on every percent bar?
100.
100. There's a couple of you who I haven't seen you participate in the chat. I'm going to start calling y'all out. If you're participating on the speaker, that is okay. Okay? Noah, are you here with us? I haven't heard from you. Okay, it says of 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Of 50. So 50 is the
100.
total. It goes over 100. Good. Now this one wants to know 10%. So because it has a percent, I'm putting it on the bottom. Good. And then X. I'm looking for this little guy. Okay. Now a shortcut does work, but I also want to show you a mental math trick. Okay. To find 10%, you just move your decimal one place. So in the number 50, okay, remember there's no decimal, so if it's out of sight, I put it on the right. So I just move it one hop. So this is 5. Okay. Again, if that's confusing for you, if you'd rather do a proportion, guess what? How do you get from 50 to 100? Okay. So over here, it's pointing the opposite, so I'm going to divide by 2. And guess what? Am I still going to get 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if proportions is working for you, great. This is just to show you kind of some mental math for some of you who are like, I can see this and I'd rather do this. Okay. Either way, I got 5. Okay. We're going to do 2 more together, and then I'm going to let you try a couple on your own. Okay. So 2 more together. Every single time, what's the first thing I'm writing?
100.
100, and I'm putting my label. Okay. 20% of 80. So what goes over 100?
80.
80. And does the 20 go on top or bottom?
Bottom.
Why is it going on the bottom?
Because it's a percent.
Very good. It's a percent. Okay. This one is X. Now, I'm going to show you a trick of why that mental math is cool. Okay. If you do mental math and you know that 10% is 8 because you moved it once. Okay. It was 80. I moved it once. What would 20% be if you knew that 10% was 8?
15.
It would be 16, right? Because you have an 8 and then you have another 8. Okay. Let's see if the proportion works the same way. How can you get from 20 to 100?
Times 5.
Okay. So up top, I'm going to divide by 5. 80 divided by 5 is 16. Okay. So the mental math is really cool if you are good at that. If you're not, don't worry about it. Proportion works just the same. Okay. All right, last one. Every single time, what am I writing on every single percent bar? 100. Every single time, 100. Okay. Of 200. So 200 goes where?
On top.
On the top. Okay. 75%. So that first line looks like it's 50%, but I need more than 50%. This is 50%. Okay. I need 75%. Okay. Again, I want to show you why percent bars are useful. Okay. What is half of 200?
100.
100. So what's right in the middle of 100 and 200?
150.
Yep. So x equals 150. Okay. If you can see that, again, you didn't have to do your proportion. If you didn't see it, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to show you that your proportion works just the same. X over 75, 200 over 100. Is there a shortcut?
Yes.
Yes. What's the shortcut?
75.
Divide by 2.
Okay. On the opposite side, what should I be doing?
Times.
Times by 2. And I still get x equals 150, right? So I got x equals 150 either way. What'd you say?
Isn't there another way as well?
What were you going to do?
75 times 200 and then 50.
Oh, cross multiply and divide? Yeah, that works every single time. Yep. Okay. All right, so now you've had a lot of practice of this type. So on the next page, there are 5 of them. I'm going to give you about 7 or 8 minutes. Do these 5, and then we're going to come back and talk about it, okay? Yep. Okay. So 75x equals 300. And then how do you get x by itself?
Divide by 75.
Good. Divide by 75. So x is 25? No, what am I doing? X is 4. X is 4, sorry. X is 4. Now, if you knew this shortcut, 25, 25, that works too. But I just wanted to remind y'all, if you don't know the shortcut, don't just give up, because this is going to work every single time. And now that you're getting to use a calculator, it should go a lot quicker. Okay. Again, I think shortcut is quicker, but just a reminder. Okay. So this is another way you might solve it where you're looking for the total. Let me show you the last type of problem you're going to see. Okay. Blank percent of 10 equals 1. Blank percent of 10 equals 1. Okay, so I'm going to draw my percent bar. Every single time, what's going on the percent bar?
100.
100. Good. I know you might be tired of that, but I'm trying to beat it into your brain. Okay. So it says of 10. So where does 10 go?
Above
Above the 100. And then is 1. Remember, this means is. So is goes over here. And I don't know the percent, so that goes on the bottom. Okay. All right. Do you see a shortcut?
No. I mean, yes.
Yes.
Okay, what's the shortcut?
10 divide
Times 10.
Okay, so this way times 10.
Yeah, 10 times 10.
On the other side, am I going the same direction or opposite?
Same.
Same, because I'm pointing down. So I'm doing the same, which is what? 10. This time it is a percent, 10%. Okay, so again, the same steps. I'm just putting numbers in different places. Okay. All right, we're going to do one more like that. Blank percent of 70 equals 56. Okay, so I want to draw my percent bar. 100 is there every time. I don't know the percent, so the x is going where? Yeah, x is going down. Of 70, so where does 70 go?
Above.
Good. And then 56. Okay. Any questions on why we put those numbers where we put them?
All three is total, so it's gonna be above.
Yeah. Okay.
56 is
All right, this time I have x over 56. 56 over x. 70 over 100. Is there a shortcut?
No.
No. Remember we talked about in our notes, so if there's not a shortcut, you can try to simplify. What can go into 70 and 100?
Okay.
10.
10, yeah. Okay, 5 would work, but so would 10. Remember with 10, that means I just mark off those zeros. Now, can you get from 7 to 10? No. Can you get from 7 to 56?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 7 what?
Multiplied by 8.
Multiply by 8. Good. Here, multiply by 8. So x is 80%. And again, I know it's a percent because it's on the bottom.
Sarah, remember we've been confused with 60% of 35 and 500 confident?
All right. How do y'all feel? Good, bad, okay?
Exhausted.
Okay, ready to try some on your own?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have you write this down and then I'm going to show you what it looks like, okay? So on your paper, write L5, 3 of these. And I know this will make no sense right now, but I'm going to show you what it means.
Wait, what is that? Is that
L7,
minus 5?
no, just L7. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. You're doing 7 of these, which means you're doing 10 problems total. Okay, and y'all saw how quick those were. They don't take a lot of time. Okay, I will show you in iExcel how to access them. They have been assigned to you, but I know some of you haven't used iExcel other than that one time, which is fine. Really good. Awesome, Ateneo. That's good to hear. Good, Andrea. Okay, Rachel, thanks for letting me know. All right, so at this point, everybody go to ClassLink. Don't go to Schoology, okay? Go to ClassLink like you're going to log in. Just go to ClassLink. Oops. ClassLink, okay? Now yours is going to look a little bit different than mine because we have different